No! No! First one? First one? Oh, no! Come on! Come on! Oh, it's alive! It's alive! No! Oh, God! Come here. Eat. Get rid of it! Eric coming in, like every night. Light him up.
Jack it up.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Shiny! 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 We have to get Merlin. We have to get Merlin. What is it? What is it? What is it? Water orb! I have this! Done. Gabby, go. Oh! Oh my God!
You know what the stakes are for this.
What? I see for the couch?
Our marriage.
I love that intro.
It's great. That's a new one. I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh yeah, we upgraded it and threw it up there and stuff. Kind of
It's great.
Biggest hits or greatest hits, I guess to say. But mic check.
Mic
Check
check.
2 1 2. What you gonna do when we have a surprise Slytherin hanging out this Wizarding Wednesday with you?
And yet I'm wearing blue. I've got plants behind me. I'm like anything but Slytherin right now. I'm so different than you guys expect.
You got a little bit of Hufflepuff in the background, and now like with the Ravenclaw represent with the blue, like you gotta love it. Oh my gosh! But welcome to another Wizarding Wednesday live stream. We come together every Wednesday live to talk all things Hogwarts Legacy and Wizarding World, and we have a special guest for you guys today. We got a busy guy. Take his time out to just come say hi and hang out and honestly play catch up. The former community manager over at Avalanche Software and of course the voice of Hogwarts Legacy. You know him, you love him. Chandler Wood. What is up, Chandler? How you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. It hurts to hear former. I'm still not still not over that.
Yeah.
It's been just over 6 months now, but yeah, it's tough. I still like consider myself part of the family, part of everything so much, but yeah, unfortunately life just goes the way it goes.
Hey, life takes you, and I mean, obviously we talked about it before in the goodbye video we had put together when you had sent me kind of just like your final thoughts when you were leaving. Like it was for the best reasons, obviously. Love, you are married now, and like you moved and all of that stuff. So welcome to the welcome to the fraternity. So I guess we'll start there. And I know you guys have a ton of questions. I took some down. I wrote some down. Obviously, there's going to be stuff we can and can't talk about. We will get there when we get there, and we'll let you guys know how we will approach it once we get to those topics. But first, I honestly wanted to just see how you were doing. How's the new life? How's the transition? All of those things. Like, what is going on with Chandler right now, and just being a married guy right now?
It's been crazy. So yeah, I mean our relationship was long distance for a while. We were trying to figure out how to do the whole thing with Salt Lake, with New York. She's from New York, and that's how all that happened.
So is she from the area, or is that just where she ended up with work wise and everything?
No, she's from here, so her family's here. She's born and raised here, Westchester.
No way. Awesome.
New York. Yep, just north of Manhattan, of the city. And yeah, there was a lot of back and forth for a while, and ultimately it just became like too much. Really going back and forth and trying to maintain being in Salt
relationship.
Lake and being here, and we knew we were getting married, and it was like, all right, we have to come to a decision. We have to like talk to you know, everybody, Avalanche, talk to EQ, like try and figure this out.
Yeah.
And what we came to is like, there's so much of the community manager job that is so important to like be right in the studio. There were so many amazing things that happened just because I was able to kind of like do a circuit of the studio and like talk to somebody and be like, hey, what's going on? What are you working on today? What are you excited about? Hey, you know, and getting that there and getting that full understanding of the studio. Like if you want to kind of be the face and voice and that translator between the community and the studio, there's nothing like being right there in the studio. So while it technically could have been possible, sure, remote work's a thing. I could have done the thing from New York.
Yeah.
You know, EQ's in LA, the studio's in
That's
Salt Lake,
That's
New York's
right.
another, you know,
That's
so the time difference is there, and I would have been
Yeah.
flying all over the place, and it
That's
just, we kind of just determined like, all right, I'm making this move, I'm going out there, and unfortunately but fortunately, you know, like it's one of those decisions. So that's what brings me out here. And yeah, so it was really I left Avalanche the start of November, which was literally like a week, I think, before because the wedding was in Utah.
Yeah.
Day after the wedding, we flew back to New York, and I have not been back to Utah since. And this is the longest I've ever been away from.
Because you're from there. You're from the area. Yeah.
So, you know, I've been away from Utah for 6 months and 10 days, and I'm like, crazy. It's crazy to me.
That's crazy. So, and I remember when you sent the last letter or like farewell letter, and I think you guys were like getting ready for the wedding when you sent that out. So like it was like
that was
leaving.
That was that week, and when you did your video, that was Sam and I were on the plane to Utah from New York when the video hit. And so we're sitting on the plane and we're just like bawling our eyes out. All these other people next to us were just like, all these two weirdos like crying here. We're like, this is the thing, I promise. It's just like yeah, I took that and I look at it and I'm like, there is no better like resume for my work than that video. Like if somebody thank you so much for that, by the way, because like it was so good, and there is I'm like, I can say all the things that I've done as a community manager, but it's right there in the title, right? Community. And so if the community is giving back to me in that way, and if I can get a farewell video like that to send me off, no better resume for the work that I've done. I can list all the things I've done, but I send that out, I'm like, I'm good. That's my resume. That's what I do.
Great, man. Thank you. Like honestly, I watched it not too long ago, kind of just recapping what's been going on with you last time we talked, and like me and Sue were just like teared up a little bit because like you have for the better of like a little over 3, almost 4 years, you've been like the guy we look forward to. Sometimes you would tweet on Tuesdays or Thursdays. We would just look for your tweets every day, trying to figure out if we would get just a little bit of news before the game release, and then after, looking for anything if we were going to get New Game Plus or updates and everything like that. Like we were looking for your posts and Avalanche Software's posts. So like it just feels like a new like journey has started, but like you still want to be on the journey you were just on because it was so awesome, bro. Like it was so amazing and stuff. So.
I know, it was so much fun to be able to like over time, and we're probably going to get into this later, but like community management, it's a conversation, right? So that conversation kind of starts out initially when I'm first showing up there, and I had no idea what was ahead for me. Like I had no idea. On any given day, I don't think I had any idea what was ahead, and just the ways that conversation constantly evolved, and like really getting to figure out like what was important to you guys, and not just important to you, but what are like the little in jokes, what are the little things where we can like throw references back your way.
Yes.
Even if it's just like kind of showing like, hey, we're having this dialogue, we're having, even if it's not something that's actually coming to the game, or
Yeah.
but it's showing that we as the development team were listening and
Paying
wanted
attention.
to have that conversation, and it just got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and then there were meta levels of like, are my tweets actually teases, or do I know that you think they're going to be teases, so they're teases of teases, they're fake teases, like who knows, I don't know.
I got to say, like, I've had the privilege, we're a small channel, but I've had the privilege of working with a bunch of community managers, particularly under the Portkey Games, even WB Games banner per se, since we're like a Harry Potter gaming channel. And I remember when I went to visit for the gameplay showcase, and you're like, all right, like I'm going to do some work, but you can like look around over here, talk to some people, get some B-roll footage. And all you did was reading subreddits, checking Twitter, like reading just all this. I was like, you were locked in. Like, that's why you always had your ear to the ground. And we as a community, at least from my perspective and from the comments we would get under our videos, like you guys, especially particularly you, had an ear to the ground and just understood the little reference. Even at the gameplay showcase, talking about the little the shelves and stuff, nods to videos from other creators and everything, like that was on purpose. And like, I've never seen a community manager, again, I've only worked with a couple within the Portkey Games banner, just be so in tune with what the community was talking about. And so like, honestly, I think that's the biggest thing, because we did feel heard. We did feel like we were a part of the development, and you guys were paying attention, even though you might not agree with what everybody was saying, or you couldn't share what you guys really wanted to do yet because it wasn't the time, even though we were asking for a release date like 2 years before the game was coming out or something like that. But you guys just did such a great job. And again, kudos to you with just having an ear to the ground and just understanding and paying attention to us. And I think that's the biggest part we're going to miss for sure. And just that dance we had of communication, because it is a dance. It is a back and forth. Who's going to lead today? Who's going to lead tomorrow? You know, and there's a give and take for sure with that. And so, yeah, shout out to you and just everything you guys were doing those couple of years leading up to its release and after, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know the new community manager.
Yes. Cody.
Super well. I've talked with him a little bit.
Okay.
Just chatted back and forth. I think through some LinkedIn messages. But I think I feel like somebody asked me about this. Maybe it was you that asked me about it.
What in regards to?
In regards to, you know, I think like honestly, if they chose him to be community manager, then I have complete like faith and trust in that team. In EQ and in Josh and in you know, the whole team there at Avalanche who would bring him on to work with them. They're a passionate team, and they're going to bring in somebody that's equally as passionate, that's equally going to bring that forward. He's going to do it in his own way. He's going to have his own style. He's not going to be Chandler 2.0, but like I don't think I want him to be, or you want him to be Chandler 2.0 either.
No.
He's going to do his own thing. So,
and like I think, to be fair, especially because Cody had visited the streams right after his announcement as community manager, and I think we were all just like in the chat, we're just like, yo, like do your thing, like looking forward to like what we're going to get, because this is now we have a new dance partner. Like if this community manager community thing is a give and take, now we got a new dance partner and we just got to fill each other out. And so like, yeah, like I don't think it would be fair to us as a community or him to expect Chandler 2.0, but at the same time, like I think you hit the nail on the head. Like EQ, Eric Martin, for those of you guys who don't know, and just the whole team over there, they know what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
The team over there is like legit. Like just some of the stuff you guys were able to come up with, from listening to even the developers with like Andrew with the ASMR thing, or just like little stuff like that. Like that collaboration and understanding not only of the product you guys were giving us, but of what the community would be interested in, and just trying stuff. Like the team over there is just legit, and I cannot wait for them to kill it and stuff like that. So yeah, like obviously we're going to miss you and stuff like that, but also like we're still in good hands at the end of the day. So I think you made that perfectly clear, and I couldn't agree more.
My face may have been the face and the voice that was always there, but like I can't take full credit at all, because I was backed by and surrounded by and supported by and even on camera and everything, just by such an incredible team. And so taking me out of that does not change anything about how incredible that team is.
Exactly.
So it's a new face, a new voice, but I think it's going to be just as incredible, just in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, no, well said. Speaking of community manager, so I wanted to do some rapid fire stuff real quick with you on some of the topics. So we got to know a little bit of what's going on with you guys right now in regards to newlyweds. Congratulations, by the way. But now in regards to just being looking back on your time as community manager, the pros, cons, and kind of just the ins and outs of what it was to help develop and even market Hogwarts Legacy before and even after its release. So real quick, and I'm looking forward to some of these answers. So the first one, favorite Hogwarts Legacy trailer you worked on or didn't, or this is a two-parter. You worked on, your favorite one you worked on, and the favorite one you didn't work on.
The favorite one I worked on is so hard, but I think the some of the later trailers that we were able to do, the summer update, the mod support,
y'all had fun with those.
We had a lot of fun with those, because we were just able to like really, again, that conversation and that process, you start like figuring out what works, what you can do, what you can get away with sometimes. We're like, by the time we were doing the mod support trailer, we were just like, all right, let's go like full on goof mode with this. Oh, my wife is home and my dog is going crazy.
You're good.
But yeah, we were just going full on like goofy, crazy mode with it, and having a lot of fun. I also loved working on the Back to Hogwarts showcases. I think those were so much fun to do. Just because we got to come in and collaborate on those in a way that felt like we had this big production, this Back to Hogwarts. We were part of something much bigger, but we also got to collaborate in ways like the second year, being able to put together that stage that was in the room of requirements.
That's right, the background. I remember you said it wasn't real, but it looked real. Like that was insane.
It was like an LED sound stage, and they put some physical props in the space, and Andrew did a great job with like capturing the capture work of making sure he was getting like the perfect right angle, and we had to work on a lot of back and forth between that, and then I was there at the studio like getting it all implemented, and with the production team there. It was just wild and a ton of fun. As far as ones I didn't work on, I had less involvement probably with the big, more kind of like traditional trailers that you would have seen
really
coming out of the out of like WB Games, like the publishing side.
Yeah,
I still was involved in those, but not as like hands-on as like here I'm filming and I'm on camera and everything.
Yeah.
And so some of those would like go out to agencies or something like that, but I think the trailers that were put together there, still part of like a back and forth and giving feedback on bringing those together, but we weren't necessarily the ones doing like captures or edits or anything like that. Were pretty incredible. Like our launch trailer was amazing.
Yes, it was. Like there were some shots I was like, bro, like I just kept getting hyped and more hyped every time I saw like the launch trailer. I use it still in my videos when I talk about the game and stuff. Like it's so well put together. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Favorite Hogwarts Legacy feature possibly, I don't know if you did or didn't, but feature you might have suggested, hinted at that, encouraged? What might that be?
I mean, the one that I had like quite a bit of a hand in actually working on was the mod support, working back and forth on bringing that, because it is such a community focused feature.
Okay.
So that was really cool to be able to kind of figure out like, what are people going to want out of this? What can we bring to and unlock from the PC version of the game? And obviously,
Right.
like I'm not.
Right.
Don't get me in the code base, right? I'm not gonna. I probably couldn't vibe code.
Oh shoot.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I was like, was it me? But no.
No.
But yeah, I being able to like just advocate for what the community might want, and what they might want to build and what they might want to bring to the game, and saying like, hey, if we're gonna do this, we need to do this right, and we need to bring this in the right ways. You can't just do a surface thing. You can't just slap a skin on it and just like, oh, some like, let's bring them the ability to get some basic cosmetics in here or something like that. It was like, what the community wants is to tell stories in this world, and like, let's give them the ability as much as we possibly can. And I can advocate for everything I want. There's a lot of things like technical cost and dev hours and all of these things that also go into that are a lot of decisions as well. I'm not the only decision maker, but I can definitely suggest and advocate for things. So mod support was such a fun thing to be working on for quite a few months there while we were bringing it.
And you guys brought in some already established mods. This was through CurseForge. Well, I don't know if it was through CurseForge, but you guys were collaborating with CurseForge with the mod stuff and everything. So there was a lot of mods like already in
creators and
Yes. I still to this day like it's so hard to think about, because I remember I got the email about it, like it was sometime around the fall. And I didn't think it was anything, but it was through CurseForge. So I thought it was spam mail. So then when you guys announced it, I was like, oh, this was real.
Oh, this is real. This is a thing.
Real.
Okay.
Like, this is a thing. So like, I mean, eventually like they brought me on and everything like that. But I was like, that kills me to this day when I think about that. But like, just seeing like how long you guys were working on that before it was released, especially when I had got the email before it released. So that means you guys were working on it before I got the email and everything. So like, that was just cool to kind of see it all come into fruition. And even like from the gameplay showcase aspect, which I want to talk to you about later, just like that statute of secrecy we had for the longest time and leading up to its release. And even after filming, I think we had to wait like a month and a half or two before it was finally shown. So like, it's just cool kind of knowing and realizing how much work goes into it in the background, and then like stuff will change. But then like, well, we can come back to this because maybe this is not the case. And so again, it's that dance, but in the studio now, with Avalanche Software, with the developers and the higher ups making the decisions. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, this is a fun one. The craziest request you've ever gotten for a feature within Hogwarts Legacy. The craziest one from your perspective, maybe, or from the studio's perspective.
You sent me these. Spoiler alert! He sent me the questions beforehand, so I could like think over these, so I'm not on the spot. But and this was like the one that I didn't even have notes for, and I'm just like racking my brain on it because like the game is already like crazy itself, right? It's so wondrous. It's so like there's so much crazy that's there.
Whimsical.
Whimsical, yes. Whimsy is the word. And I can't. I mean, some of the craziest features I think maybe came in because the fan base is so like not gamer. There were a lot of fans that came in that weren't necessarily gamers.
Yes.
So some of the craziest requests that we got and would see were things that maybe from a gamer perspective, you're just kind of like, well, of course that's not possible. Like you
Yeah,
can't put
yeah,
that in a game. That's
yeah,
like the hours that it would take. That's just insane to do. But
yeah.
you know, like somebody saying that they wanted us to build in you know, the entire like Harry Potter storyline into the game. And you're just like, that would be cool. That's a really cool suggestion. But that's also like there are like 8 other games
Yeah.
that do that. Like those are whole games within themselves.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
uh, but
That's
yeah, you know, and then just kind of the obvious stuff that would come into with like, oh, romance and multiplayer and like whatever
oh
suggestions that
yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
like and it was such a testament to the passion of the community and the fans and like what we built, because if you don't build something that's already good, people aren't going to request more features. Like
Good
your
point.
foundation has
That's a
to
good
be
point.
good
Yeah,
in order
that's a
for
good point.
people to come in and like actually want to keep asking for more out of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And so even though some of the requests were so out there and so crazy and so just like, no, there's no way we can do that. Like that's literally insane. It was really kind of like like good to see that coming in,
Facts.
because it meant that what we had there was already so good that they were like, it's good and we want more of this.
Right.
We want it to do more things for us.
That's
So
no, it's a good problem to have. And like the point you made earlier, because that was something I remember me, Retro, and even Andy, when we would do like our group streams, shout out to Andy Reloads. We were surprised how many people said this is like my first game in a long time. People bought PlayStation 5s for this. Like,
yeah,
I'm just going to
yeah,
throw this out there. Like, I think PlayStation 5 sales spiked when everybody knew there was going to be at least some exclusive aspect of the game for the PlayStation. And like so many people are like, I haven't bought a system since PS3 or like Nintendo Switch or whatever, which was still kind of current, but I think the Switch came out in like 2017 or whatever. So like
yeah,
it was still like seeing the Potterheads and everybody come, and it goes back to what you were saying, like they're not going to request or want or even buy all these PlayStations if the premise wasn't there or if the game didn't look promising. And I think that's what you guys nailed. Like, this is your story. I remember the original tagline, live the unwritten and all this other stuff. Like, you get to be the Harry Potter of this untold, unwritten story that you don't know what's going to happen. And at the end of the day, if you don't like the story, you get to be in Hogwarts. Like, you get to be a student,
yeah.
you get to do all these things. And so, like, I just think the premise just made so much sense. And so the crazy request coming out of nowhere, like you said, like it just was just a nod and just a thumbs up to like what you guys were already doing before its launch. So yeah, well said, like well said for sure. Go. Another fun one. If you guys didn't know, karaoke was a big thing with Avalanche Software. And I was just like, I remember seeing just so many, even being there, I knew it was a big thing because you guys talked about it all the time. But also just seeing some of the stories you, Andrew, EQ, all you guys would post, especially after launch and just like during launch and stuff like that. So who's the best you think is at karaoke over at Avalanche Software? You can say yourself if it is. I mean,
It's so hard to say because it depends on the song sometimes too, and it
true,
depends on the night and it
true.
but and I haven't heard everybody sing over there, so
Okay,
that's
okay.
tough to say.
Caveat. Okay,
You know,
gotcha.
like EQ Eric knocks it out when he's doing certain songs that he does. But I will say there's a sleeper hit, a
Okay.
little bit of an underdog that kind of comes out of nowhere that you're like, wow, Troy Johnson.
Troy?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
He didn't often he was a karaoke night, but when he was there and he got up there and sang, he would knock it out of the park. It was great.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I never would have thought that like at all. I would have figured like EQ doesn't half-a anything. Like he goes full tilt on everything he does. So like that makes sense. But Troy, like that's hilarious. Who's the top Potterhead at Avalanche Software in regards to this going hard?
easy.
Uh-huh.
Boston Madsen. Easy.
Okay. I thought it was Boston, but I didn't know there was another
Yeah.
sleeper. Yeah, Boston, who, if you guys don't know, was responsible. She had like her own team, I believe, who helped design and just put together everything you saw within Hogwarts and outside of Hogwarts. And gosh,
she had books. She had the Harry Potter books like labeled and different highlighter colors for different things and different like color post-it notes sticking out of all the pages, and like her memory of things where you're just like, hey, what's on the fourth floor corridor 2 doors down from whatever, and she's like,
yeah,
like riffles through her brain and she's like, oh, it's this. She would just like know all that stuff. I mean, there are so many Potterheads in like different ways there, but in terms of like the encyclopedic knowledge almost of the books, I would say she's a hard one to compete with.
Honestly, when I was out there for the showcase, I was like, I just want like 2 hours with Boston. I wanted to talk to Todd because I knew he helped with the Poppy quest, and Poppy was my favorite companion. But I also knew I wanted to talk to oh my gosh, Boston, because she's just that would have been fun to just pick her brain of just with everything and stuff. So no, that's a good call. Let me see. Favorite part being a community manager for Avalanche Software or even Hogwarts Legacy as a whole?
Oh, favorite part honestly was just like getting to find the new ways to like tell the stories and to have those conversations, what we were talking about earlier. Because I was telling the game story, I was telling the devs team story, but I was also telling the community story in a lot of ways. And so just finding all those unique, like interesting ways to tell all those different stories, to tie all those stories and narratives together, and then the opportunities that I was really given out of that to like get to do really cool things constantly. I know there's another question somewhere in here about like what does the day-to-day look like for a community manager. So kind of like actually pre-answering that one with this one, it was like the day-to-day was so different all the time because of all these opportunities, because of all these new ways that we were finding of how do we tell the stories, how do we the time that we were prepping for like your gameplay showcase, for example, was completely different from even the times that we were prepping for other gameplay showcases. There were just like different nuances to those, and how we worked with the team at the studio, how we set up our streaming space, how we pulled together each of those, and those were even kind of the same sort of thing. And then you look at all of the other things that we did, all the other videos or various things that we were doing. Every day was just like constantly different. There was definitely no like, all right, well, 9 o'clock is Twitter time, and 10 o'clock we move to Reddit, and then at 11 we answer emails, and like it wasn't like that at all, and I absolutely loved it.
I was going to ask, that was just what I was about to ask, because I was like, was that intimidating or was that just like exciting, kept you on your toes? Because I even remember you would post, it's after you had left Avalanche, and you would like share a lot of insight in regards to just community management, just sharing your experience, particularly like on LinkedIn, for example. Like I love your insight when you would share those things. And you said like it was no one hat. I wasn't just a community manager. Sometimes I would be a motion capture guy. Sometimes I would do this and everything. So like, was that exciting? Was that scary a little bit? Or was it just like, I'm here for it, like, let's go?
Oh, it was exciting. I mean, I think it was a little scary at first because there was maybe like a little uncertainty of how much out of like was I in a box? Was I painted into this box of this is what a community manager is? And I think I very quickly realized that for the studio, for what the studio wanted, for what I wanted, for what me and EQ and how we wanted to build everything, that there was no box. Like that we were like, let's think outside the box. Let's do all these things. We're this scrappy little team. We're the marketing team. We're here representing the studio. Like, let's do this in as big and crazy way as possible. So we would just kind of blue sky everything. And then
Gracious. Okay.
and then you know, then you have to like pull it down to what's possible
Right.
within the budget, within the space, within
Yeah.
the time frame that you have, and what can you get approved, and but
Yeah.
we didn't start within that box of like, well, here's our budget, here's our time, and here's what's going to be approved, so this is where we have to stick. We would like go here and we would say we want this, and then somebody would say, well, here's your budget, and we're going to go, okay, like how do we
work
push
within
all
this?
this
Yeah.
into the budget instead of like, are you just cutting that off and drawing that line? And I think we were able to do some really cool things. I mean, you saw the streaming space, that setup that we had, that we just kind of like, it looked so good, and we really ramshackled that together, you know, just like relatively inexpensively, I think, you know, and
fast
and quickly, and just putting it together, and little things like up lighting in the back, and things like that just helped it really pop. And you know, we were able to do a lot that like looked really, really high quality within those constraints. And I think another thing about constraints is I think they help you actually come up with more unique solutions. When you're given blue sky, when you're given infinite budget, when you're given, oh, you can do anything and everything, your creativity isn't going. You're not sitting here going like, how do I make this work? You're going, I can do anything. Oh, okay, well, then your creativity is not spiking in like, how do I do the thing that I want to do within these limitations?
No, God, that is so well said, because a lot of people look at restraints and like, well, I can't do it, because you have an ideal picture of what it should be or how it should go to get to that product. And so like as a coach, especially for myself and stuff, like a lot of these guys want to do workouts at a certain time at a certain venue because they see it how it looks on Instagram. I was like, man, grab a cinder block if you want to do some weights, or like, you know, do like get creative. Like there's stuff around the house you can do and everything. So oh my gosh, it's so well said, man. And the room, it even felt like, I think when I had got there, you guys were still like opening up boxes for like some of the cameras and stuff you guys are using and everything. So like you guys put that thing together, like turned the motion capture room into the studio, and that studio just it still looks official. Like every time I look back on like Ben's thing and everything, it's crazy.
I'm so impressed and proud of what we were able to put together. And every time we wanted to stream, because it was the mocap studio.
Yep.
It went up like maybe the night before, sometimes the morning of, and then all got torn down either the same day or the day after. Like it was up and down so quick, and then we had to open it up back to the mocap studio. And then finally, the tail end of my tenure there, you know, we got the other dedicated space upstairs. So
the wallpaper was clutch on that one too. I love what you guys did.
So good.
It's so good. I was like, I need that. Last one. I would say, well, we'll stop there with the rapid fire ones, but a couple of good questions we got from the community, and I'll start with a lot of stuff pertaining to the job, and one of them was Hogwarts Legacy. When did it first hit you that Hogwarts Legacy was going to like be this massive global community? Like, when did that like register in your brain, or even with the team? Or is that something you knew going in off the jump because Harry Potter is such a big IP?
I think I knew it off the jump when I mean, because prior to being at Avalanche, I was the editor-in-chief at PlayStation Lifestyle.
Yep.
So I was doing coverage of this mysterious Harry Potter game. You know,
really,
like, I was covering the news and the leaks and the things that were, and the speculation and all of those things that were coming out before.
I didn't know that
was even official.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then the initial trailer that released during the first State of Play before I had
the showcase, the reveal trailer.
Yeah, the reveal trailer.
Yep.
It happened during the PlayStation showcase.
Yep.
Before I was even at Avalanche.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, okay, they are working on this game, and then it was like, wait, they're in my backyard. They're like right there. Um, and
Yo.
and so I think that I was already seeing a lot of like the coverage and the hype and the excitement around it there.
Mm.
When I joined, I was also already seeing, you know, the fact that we weren't talking about it um, since that showcase reveal had left kind of this like void where everybody was filling it with speculation. I'm sure you remember some of the like purported leakers who thought
I
that they had
remember.
all
I
their information and
I
stuff.
remember. I remember.
And we're sitting like once you're on the inside and you're sitting there looking at that going like, okay, that person is so full of it. I don't know where they're getting their information, but now they're sitting there like the community thinks that they are this like savant person who's like leaking and putting out all this information and they just weren't. Like none of what they were saying was right. And
Oh,
I just knew that like the second we started talking again, which you know
yeah.
we did right there. It was kind of my message putting out there like, hey, happy holidays, happy new year.
Yep.
We'll
Yep.
be talking very soon.
Yep.
All of that vanished.
Yep.
All of that
Yep.
disappeared because when
Yep.
the void isn't there, when you're there talking, like,
Yeah.
but the fact that it was a big enough community and it was a big enough thing and a big enough hype that
Yeah.
it was getting
Yeah.
people who were creating rumor mills and who were creating fake leaks and these things, that already was telling me like, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a great. God, we're going through it right now, honestly, with Hogwarts Legacy 2. Because like you can ask everybody within the Wizarding Wednesday community. I'm like sitting there and I'm seeing all these posts getting like millions of views, hundreds of thousands of likes, and thousands of retweets or whatever, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, they're pulling this like so far out of their butt. Like I was like, and people are like you said, when there's a void, everybody just wants something, just like a morsel. And like the thing that sucks about it now, and even back then, was this doesn't make sense. You know, like you knew it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, like how do you combat that? Like you didn't have anything to go off of. Like
Yeah.
at least like whenever I would report, especially now, I would like, okay, this is based off of XYZ patterns from in the past or sources from job listings, XYZ, blah, 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 whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like that's the tough part right now. And even back then, because you guys didn't say anything. I'm trying to think because you weren't there yet. So the reveal trailer dropped in 2020, September 2020. It was on a Wednesday because we were streaming Wednesday. And then you guys said that it was delayed, I think, at the beginning of 2021. And then
That's right. That was before I was there. And then I
yes,
joined the team December
of
2021.
2021.
And it had been almost a whole year of
Yes.
saying
Yep.
absolutely nothing. And I was
Nothing.
like, we can't let it get to a calendar year of saying nothing.
Yep.
Like we have to acknowledge it, especially because I had announced that I was the community manager.
Facts.
And so that was already like itself creating some like speculation and everything. And I was like, okay, so we can talk now, right? Like we can say a thing.
I'm here. Like we can at least say something. Yeah.
And you know, it's really complex though. There's a lot of complexity around messaging and timelines and like getting it exactly right. And so it wasn't just as easy as like me popping in and being like, well, I'm here now, so like I can talk now. I can tell people about this, right? And you really have to work with the whole team on the messaging plan and making sure that you're putting that out there in the right time and in the right way.
It's the brand. It's the branding. Everybody has to be on the same page with the branding and the language you're using to talk about the game, especially when you only have a reveal trailer and stuff like that. Because I even remember working on like Wizards Unite. We worked closely with the community manager and the marketing team, and like I even did like infographics, unofficial infographics for like the game. And they were like, okay, here are the assets, but like, okay, change this wording here. Like there was a lot of red tape, but like understandably so, because it's Portkey. Like you guys were working with Wizarding World, you know, not just WB, not just Avalanche Software. So there was a lot of people you guys had to send information up to get approved before you were like, okay, it's cool, especially early on? I know it got kind of easier further you were with Avalanche, but I just remember the red tape and stuff. So no, that really makes sense, because it's
Yeah.
not just you guys. So gosh, man, yeah, I already knew it was going to be huge. Like single player open world Harry Potter game, I was like, okay, this thing's going to blow up. Like that's all you needed to know. Excuse me. One thing I know is another question. I think this was might have been from Dylan. Shout out to Dylan. The most requested feature that a lot of people ask for, I would say maybe Quidditch, but if people ask, it's like a two-parter. What was the most requested thing? But if enough people like wanted it, or at least talked about it enough, did that go into consideration in regards to adding it, or possibly at least acknowledging that we can't add it? Like, how would that dance work?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because you're like, you are working off of, again, there's so much going on behind the scenes with you know, what the studio is doing. So what is the technical work required to even implement any given feature? How many dev hours is it going to take? Whose time is it going to take up? You know, and then budgeting in all of that cost against the value at the end of the day of like, is it worth like putting in? Like, technically there are so many things that you look at, and some people could say like, oh, that would be so easy to put in the game. Like, of course you can do that.
Right.
And what is maybe not seen is how that would impact like the code base, because now it's not only implementing the feature, it's QAing the feature and going through and making sure, okay, this is this massive open world game. So you throw you know, let's say Quidditch is the you brought up as an example. Let's throw Quidditch into the game, and okay, cool, it just works, right? You just have like this side Quidditch mini game that's there.
Right.
Well, now it comes all these questions of, well, now you need to involve like the writing team, right? Because the writing team needs to write it in somehow. It needs to be, now you need to get animations and voice work done that involves Quidditch. Now you need to are the broom controls for like standard flight in the world good enough, or would they work for a Quidditch mini game? You know, redoing all of the collision and everything, because now you have to account for that, because Quidditch would work differently. You can't just like slap it in. And now, does having that there impact any other missions that may go through the Quidditch pitch for whatever reason? And now you can't have those because Quidditch is played there. Like,
wow.
It's all of these like knock-on effects of absolutely everything, where the feature request at its core, people are like, well, Quidditch, yeah, put Quidditch in. That would be great. That would be awesome. Let's do this. And the questions that start getting asked on our side and on the development side, when you start looking at that, is you look at all the knock-on effects down the line of like, how is this going to impact the game, and how is this, and sometimes that's just a discussion, and just even from the discussion you can start to see like, either this is possible or it's not possible. And sometimes you even start to like build out some of these things, some of these requests, some of these features, just, you know, maybe somebody has some extra time on their hands, and they're just trying to see like, testing and seeing like, is this something that we can bring into this? And then through that, either you get to a point where you're like, yeah, this will work. For example, photo mode, right? Photo mode got brought to the game. And that was another thing though, that like takes a lot of time, takes a lot of testing, because if we bring it to the game and it's not good, or it's bugging out, that's bad for us. We would rather not have photo mode in the game. Or personally, you know, my personal opinion would be, why put it in the game if it's a bad implementation of it? I'd rather not have it and say, hey, sorry, this isn't possible, or it's very difficult, or you know, it's taking up too much technical debt or whatever, than I would, you know, put in something that's not going to be good and make the community happy. That's kind of
Yeah.
my take on it. And again, there are so many people in these rooms and in these conversations and like making all of
The
these things
decisions.
happen that it's
Yeah,
not necessarily any one person's decision
for
at
sure.
any given time.
For sure.
But yeah, that's kind of how all that plays out in the background. So
That's a good point.
assuring you that when things are requested and when things are brought up, there are
Yeah.
at bare minimum conversations happening
Right.
around these things. They're not being ignored. They are not going by the wayside. There are conversations happening, and really trying to determine whether they're things that we can or should bring to the game or not.
Gotcha. No, I don't think that's something. Is there an echo on my end? Maybe. I don't think that's something a lot of people realize from that background information with like, okay, it would be cool. Okay, how would this work with what we already have established? Because we have a plan. This is something we do know we're going to do. So that was just kind of work within it. And yeah, no, that's a very good point. And I hope a lot of people think about that. At least the people who are watching now can kind of like relax when it comes to features being there or not being there, because they have to understand like there's a bigger picture when it comes to aspects of it. And it's a give or take when it comes to stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah. On a community manager side of things too, just as an additional note to that, like I will always advocate for when and where possible. And again, it's not always possible. There are a lot of nuances in like messaging and what you can or can't talk about. I will advocate for transparency, and I will advocate for trying to say something about it, which is why at the end of the modding, or was it the modding live stream or the summer update? Maybe it was the summer update one. We addressed New Game Plus, for example.
Yes, you did. Yeah, there was a tweet
I really pushed for.
Yeah.
Was addressing that. Hey, it's being talked about. We're looking into this.
Yeah.
At that time, and that was something that I really felt was important too, because it was such a conversation in the community, and it was happening, and it was like, we can't just not say anything.
Yeah.
So either like what can we say to them? How can we address this? How can we just not be like la la la, it's again, it's very hard, it's very nuanced. But I personally will always advocate on the side of transparency for the sake of the community, keeping you informed and keeping you feeling at least heard. That was going back to the delay announcement, for example. That was another thing that I did that video, and it was very important to me that we did something that was not your traditional text
just post
post that's like, hey, we're sorry, we're gonna be delayed, like we're still not bringing it out when you thought we were bringing it out. And I advocated for, okay, this needs to be a person that's sitting down and saying, hey, we're really sorry, we're working really hard on this, we've just determined we need a little bit more time. And then two, on top of that, not only a delay, but also saying, here's the date. Like we're not just delaying it, but we're giving you some sweet treats with that. Here's what you're getting. You're getting a date. Like we're still bringing that to you, and so really like balancing that out, where it's not just being like pushing off the community, but like, again, that conversation, like how are we having that conversation back and forth with each other. And I'm really proud of the way we brought, anytime we had to bring like any kind of negative news or like no news to share news to people. I think we did that in a really nuanced and good way.
No, when you said, God, I totally forgot about the delay from holiday 2022 to early 2023. And I remember vividly that video. I remember talking about the background and like where you were when you were filming it and everything like that. And I have to say, the transparency was the thing, outside of just understanding that you guys were listening and you would throw nods out to let us know that you were listening and paying attention and at least considering what people were saying. But the transparency, I think, was the thing that surprised the non-fans of the game, or the fans who hadn't been established yet, this skeptics per se, a person like I don't know, name a creator. And I think that was the thing a lot of people were talking about, because I know during that time period I wanted to listen to as many people as I could just to get like outside noise in regards to their thoughts on the game, because I was like, okay, I'm loving it. I already know I'm going to love it. I already know I trust this team. I haven't seen anything from them, but I trust this team because it just sounded like from the behind the scenes video and the state of play, you guys knew what you were doing. So I was like, I trust them. But there was a lot of skeptics still around that time period, but everybody kept saying the transparency was refreshing that was coming from you guys. And I totally forgot about that until you brought that up. And again, that's just another nod to like your understanding of the community and understanding how like, hey, we can be different while also doing the same thing that a lot of studios have to do, which is, hey, we got to delay it because we got to do extra work and stuff. So God, I really appreciate that.
Here's
I really
how I
appreciate
thought of the community. This thought just popped in my head, but here's how I thought of the community behind Hogwarts Legacy in a way. When I was younger, you know, massive Lord of the Rings fan, had all the extended editions, and not only would I like watch the extended editions full through like once a month, you know, the whole thing, but
Right.
I had seen every special feature across every disc of those extended editions,
Yeah.
like at least once, if not multiple times. And I just thought of, you know, myself as that like really immensely passionate fan who just wants to consume and just wants like all of that stuff for any given thing. And I was like,
God.
that is who these
Yeah,
fans, that is
that's
who
who they
this
are.
community is going to be. They're going to eat this stuff up because they already, we were seeing that, you know, we were talking before about the void of information. And so if
Yeah.
somebody brings information, you're eating up information that may not even be correct just because you want something and you want something more. And so I was like, okay, well, they're going to love anything we like.
Yeah.
Let's be transparent. Like, let's bring them whatever we can. It doesn't need to be, you know, it can be behind the scenes about the what we're doing, what we're working on.
Yeah.
God,
that's such, I mean, as you that perspective as being a fan and understanding what you would want if it was Lord of the Rings and stuff. I mean, at that, it's the human element that I think a lot of companies sometimes forget about. And they look at it from numbers. Okay, we got to make this many sales. Well, we invested this into the studio and marketing and stuff like that. We want to get this. And, you know, depending on how high of a position you are, that's something you do have to care about, obviously, because, you know, money kind of drives a lot of the stuff you're able to do at the same time. But especially for a person in your position or any future community manager, like the human element and understanding that, like, God, that's so refreshing, bro. That's so refreshing. Let's get into gameplay. I know a lot of people are here, want to talk about it. The first thing, I don't know, quickly, sitting in Hogwarts Legacy. Is there I don't know if you can share or talk about it. Is there a rhyme or reason why it wasn't part of it outside of the photo mode? Because I know you guys made a nod to it in the photo mode in the June or the summer update for the game. I think it was that following summer. So, like, what was the deal with just sitting? Start there.
wait, sorry, say that one more time. What the
Well,
deal
okay.
with
Sitting. Oh, we couldn't sit down. Everybody wanted to sit down because
sitting.
yeah,
Sorry,
sitting. I'm sorry.
I thought my brain. I thought you said setting, so my brain's starting to like rack my brain of like what was my favorite setting within the game, and like,
No, I'm sorry.
and I was like,
I'm
wait
sorry.
a minute, what is it's just hard. It's again, it's like a technical difficulty. There are, you know, things with rigs and meshes and collisions, and it's again, it's one of those things that is just is the juice worth the squeeze?
Okay.
Type of thing.
Okay.
And with the way the clothing worked on the characters, like a lot of this too has kind of come to light if you look at like modding and people actually getting in and modding the game, and they're able to see kind of the inner workings of how a lot of these things work as they're working with creating like new cosmetics or creating new missions and creating like environments and things.
That's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing where it just, again, juice wasn't worth the squeeze for whatever reason. That was even before my time, not my call necessarily at all. No matter how much I like, people want to sit down. But yeah, we definitely wanted to make to give a nod to it in photo mode, and obviously we still weren't giving you the ability to like sit on chairs or benches or anything like that. But to have like a nice little just relaxing on the lawn outside, or in the Great Hall, wherever you wanted to go.
Got the knee up in photo mode and like looking up and stuff like that. Okay. No, like I know it was so crazy between Jump, which you guys like showed in that one tweet, which broke the internet when you did that.
So much fun. I love Jump. I love Jump so much.
It just Jump. That's it. Like, I mean, everybody knew what was up after that. Between that and the sitting, I think that was like another thing. A lot of people were just like, like it feels simple, but like you've explained so thoroughly, like there's a lot of aspects that goes into it, like the road physics, and like there's a reason with the mods thing, like you said, like it's not as easy as you think it could be to be done and stuff like that. And especially with what you have.
It goes back again to what I was saying about like when I say is the juice worth the squeeze, it's like, can we put sitting in the game? Okay, sure, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not that it's like impossible, because a lot of people are like, you can, like, they're sitting in other games. Of course you can put sitting in the game. And so like the answer to that is yes, you can rig a character model to sit down on other objects. But then when you go, again, those knock-on effects and you start having those conversations, and is the juice worth the squeeze, and which developers are you putting on it to do this, and are you taking up QA's time to make sure that every single object and possible thing you can do in the entire, that you could sit on in the entire game, would it break the game or not? Like those are the kinds of things like during game development that are happening that is kind of like, well, do you want the rest of the game to be really cool instead, or do you want us to like burn a ton of time on making sure that you can sit down? And there's not necessarily a right answer to that question. Like, I'm not saying that in a way of saying like the requesting sitting is absurd over any other given thing. But ultimately we have to like, a development team will have to like look at all of those things, weigh all of the options. And, that's what producers are for. That's what the leads at the studio are for, ultimately making those calls of like, okay, we can't do this, or like, let's push to have this in there.
No, I get it. I'm honestly learning so much. Like, I thought I knew some stuff, but like the way you're explaining it, like, is making a lot of sense. Going back to gameplay, favorite location, either within Hogwarts or outside of Hogwarts.
Oh, I love the Slytherin common room. It's great.
So I can like choose Slytherin. I think there's a lot of people in chat.
I gotta throw that back in there.
The door, the entrance, when you guys revealed that at the I think it was back to Hogwarts Day, the first
back
one.
To Hogwarts.
When you did the common room. I remember like grabbing Sue so tight. I was like, "Yo!" And like she started saying, "James, like, what are you doing?" That was, bro, because that was the first. I think that was the first common room you guys showcased before you shared everything else. So
since I got my way in.
I was like, that sounded like a Chandler thing he wanted to do. Okay, so Slytherin common room. I said I think the next question is favorite. Oh, character. Who's your favorite character? Is it Seth?
Who's my favorite character? I don't know if it's Seb. I like Ominous.
Yes, yes. Hashtag ominous hype. Yes, ominous
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little like it kind of like goes like this throughout the storyline, but by the time you really get to the end of things, personally I was team Ominous, and uh yeah, I think that would it's been a minute now since I played the game,
Yeah,
so
for sure,
I'm
for
like
sure,
I'm like
for
racking my
sure.
brain to go back and remember, but yeah. And then here we go. Here will be a nice community nod. All of your OCs, all of your original characters.
There
I
you go.
honestly love.
There you go.
I did. I loved seeing just all of the storylines and like the characters that people would come up with, and
The headcanons
uh
people would come up with it.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Just
yeah,
like leaning into like, this is my person here attending Hogwarts, and this is their whole story, and there's like
yeah.
novels worth of stories
Yes.
for people's characters. And I'm like,
Yes.
I thought I was creative, but here's my guy who's just like, yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
magic kid and I'm here.
Yeah.
So like my own stories for my own character felt
Yeah,
pathetic in comparison to just these like rich backstories. So
bro. No,
there's my
that's a good
community
call.
nod. Community
That
original characters. Yeah.
that no, that's a good call. Because even still to this day, like the photo, there's people who do like photo mode,
Yeah.
and they'll capture a scene, but it's for their story that they're telling through cinematography, or I'm sorry, through photography. And I'm just like, bro, that's insane. So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Favorite spell.
Favorite
Favorite spell.
spell. Favorite
Oh,
spell.
I'm sorry, I gotta hold on. Martin with the 50 gifted membies in the chat. We just gained 50 new members of Patrol Squad during the stream. Thank you, Martin,
Wow.
for the support. Wow, yes, indeed. Thank you for everyone who's joining us, possibly for the first time. Welcome to Patronus Squad. We do Whizzing Wednesdays every Wednesday, and we do stuff like this, discussions, not as much with devs and community managers, but more so just with the community. So thank you for that. But sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I just had to acknowledge
that's
that. That was
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Absolutely.
But
Got
yes.
to acknowledge the community. Come
Oh
on.
yeah. I mean,
I know that. You don't have to tell me twice.
And you still have your moderator badge, by the way, if you use the same thing. So like,
Thank you.
Whenever you want to visit, because there was a lot of people posing it as you when the hype was going during the streams and stuff. They would say, I'm Chandler Wood. I was like, all right, we're gonna put a moderator thing.
Are you?
Yeah.
I think he's live on this other video right now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, favorite spell. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Favorite spell. I think Flipendo, just because it's so I love that it's the callback to the old games, right? It's like not even a thing.
Yes.
Aside from being able to call back to the old games, and I don't think people really use it all that often. It's not something that ends up in everybody's spell diamonds or anything. Yeah, but I'm like, that's such a fun little nod, fun little Easter egg.
Let me see. Do you have a favorite quest or a memorable quest that you enjoyed, whether from the development side or just experiencing it for the first time side?
The Cobb's quest.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is heartbreaking. It's it's so, but like I loved like the story that Moira put into that, and the fact that we were able to bring such incredible emotion to even like a side quest like that, even this like small little side quest was just so cool.
Yeah, I did that a lot. Like there was sometimes it would be like side quests, just talking to like random NPCs, and I was like, oh my gosh, it would either be like dark coming out of nowhere, or it's just be like oh man, or even like rewarding. Like I was just like, this makes sense. This fits the Wizarding World. Like this would be something that like, yeah. Gosh, shout out to the narrative team, man. Like, good gracious.
Yeah.
Speaking of narrative, okay, so this might be we're getting into stuff you might not be able to say or talk about, but I'm going to ask, and feel free to be like, can't talk about it. All right, so the game originally, because you talked about like covering it in the leaks and everything, and even the trailer. Like I remember people were trying to post that, and like WB like, nah, nope, not having that on YouTube or anywhere else and stuff. Do you know if the game was originally supposed to be darker, or did it have like a different story path and stuff like that? Because that was a rumor that was going around with reports from people doing like coding into the game and kind of getting like, I don't know what it was they were pulling from. So that was a narrative going around. Is that something you will be able to share, talk about? What?
I have to be careful with
okay.
Again, I still love the team there. I want to respect all of that.
Sure, of course.
I'll just say that like when you're especially in like the pre-production phase of a game, there is a lot of exploration that happens. There's a lot of exploration into like what is actually going to work, what is the right tone, what are the features that we want to bring.
Okay.
Pre-production is, the concept and pre-production phases are really in a lot of ways like very blue sky.
Okay.
And then there comes a time of like severe narrowing of like, okay.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that even a game as massive as like Grand Theft Auto 6
right
did the same thing. I guarantee there are things in Grand Theft Auto 6 and concepts and things that are cut even as massive as that game is going to be.
Yeah.
Because again, in that concept, in that pre-production phase, you're really just trying to see like, okay, we have an idea. This is so cool. And then you go into like pre-production and you're just kind of gray boxing it and you're trying to see like, can this work? Is this something that'll work? And then you start to bring all the pieces together and you kind of say, can all these pieces work together?
Yeah.
And again, is the tone right? And you've got to do that with everything: mechanics, story, character design, literally everything about the game. And so yeah, I'll leave it at that. But I will just say that there is a lot of exploration that goes into a game prior to a game being what it is, and a number of things with any given game that, when I was in games journalism, I found this same thing. A number of things with any given game that you will see that come out as like leaks or as like this game was supposed to be this thing versus this thing is it honestly could be one person in the studio who decided to concept something or just like dev test something and try something out and toss it together. And or it could, I mean, on the other hand, it could be a thing that they were trying to bring in and put into the game, and ultimately it was decided like this doesn't fit or the tone doesn't fit, we need to change here.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'll say about
that. Okay. Speaking of originals, if it was darker or not. I know when I was there, you guys had talked about, I think it was I couldn't remember if it was like Quidditch. Not Quidditch. The mini games, the side games and stuff. There was stuff that I know Alan had even said he would have loved to put in. I think we touched on it in the gameplay showcase. I can't remember. Is there any features, again, you can talk about or can't talk about, that you were like was going to be in the game, but kind of had to scratch it because of X? Was there any features that you can talk about that were originally supposed to be in the game, but you kind of just decided like, no, maybe we'll do it later, or it just doesn't work?
I mean, I think The state of play mentioned companions.
Yes.
And
They'll go with you on your adventures and stuff. Yes.
and
It
the
did.
and some of the mod, as people dug into it, were able to
add them to with you to go around and everything and follow you around. Yep.
that
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
that's a
Okay.
thing that again is like one of those things where it's like, in my mind, it's the game is better for the choices that were made, ultimately because of what the team was able to ship at the time they were able to ship it. And
okay.
The question of, would you want something in there that's a broken thing that's not working well versus like, okay, let's just like or not.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You have to pull from that. Inspirations. Can you talk about any other video games you guys might have pulled a quest from, a feature from, a look aesthetically, mechanically, gameplay wise, combat wise, flying? What inspirations can you share or not share? Especially if you're able to mention another game or not. That
I mean, the team, it was pretty far along by the time I joined the team. So this would be coming from probably the same things that you've heard from the development team already, in terms of like all the games they were playing, all the open world, big stuff. Looking at something like, as far as a blue sky kind of idea, like a Skyrim, and going like, okay, what does this look like? And really, through development and pre-production and everything and focus testing and getting it down to, all right, what is actually going to work for this game. But the team at Avalanche is also like such gamers. They all play so many games and so many different games, and so I couldn't even point to the question of, was Hogwarts Legacy inspired by blah game? And it's more, were the individual people at Avalanche inspired by whatever games during their production of their individual pieces of kind of what they were working on and what they were bringing together. And I'm sure, Troy Johnson doing combat was inspired by different sets of games than maybe the art team or the castle team. And
that's the pieces aspect, because I was surprised how, I don't even know how to say this, it felt so individualistic in regards to like each person had their stamp on the game. But then Alan, too, game director, would just come down as like, all right, I like this puzzle piece of it. He had the big picture, but everybody was so focused. Because I remember talking to Dallin and even Todd and so many of the other devs and stuff, Andrew. They're like, man, I don't even know what's going over here because I'm working on this. So like there were story aspects that they didn't know would happen, and they were excited to play it because they were so focused on their part, whether it was a quest, a feature, QA, whatever, stuff like that. So like the pieces you talked about, like that is a perfect word for it, because that's something I found out and I was surprised by when I went to visit.
I'll be honest, the same thing happened for me too, because sometimes some of the trailers and the different like things that we would be working on were such specific parts of the game, either specific quest or a specific location or something like that, that when I was actually able to finally play through the game, I had played hundreds upon hundreds of hours of this game, and there were still things within it that I was like, I didn't know this quest even existed, or I didn't know. Because we're not even, again, somebody like me who is a little more, or was a little more, like playing it in totality. we still were very focused on what we were doing. Oftentimes, like using the dev console to go to very specific missions to get what we would need for a capture, or just a specific location. We're not playing through the game in order.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that every
Yeah.
time we wanted to get
Yeah.
to and
Yeah.
go somewhere, and so
Yeah.
we're always skipping around and
Yeah.
so yeah, getting to
That's a good point.
play the game in totality afterwards, and it took me some time actually after launch to
Of course, you were
finally sit down and
busy.
play it.
Yeah, yeah, you guys were busy.
I was
Yeah.
busy, and I was just like, I started to, and I tried, and I was like, I just can't right now. And eventually,
Yeah.
I did finally like sit down and
Yeah.
get that in totality, because again, I needed to understand what you were all playing and
Right.
uh,
Right. No, that
Yeah.
was the biggest surprise for me, because even Alan, he's like, I've played so many versions of this game. And he's like,
Mhm.
I'm still surprised every time, because somebody would add this little thing in the quest that I've played 80,000 times, but they'd add this little thing, and it's like, it was a surprise. It was always fun. I was like, God, like, how many iterations did he go through? Like, that's so crazy.
So many.
Okay. Speaking of iterations, okay. This was a big question by some of the community. I think I know what this answer is, but I'm still going to ask. And there's two of them regarding canon for the story. Seb's fate and the decision with Ancient Magic whether to keep it hidden or reveal it. Is there a studio canon for those two storylines, or was it just, I'm not even going to give you the out. What is it?
Like, no.
Okay.
I'll just say that. I will say
Okay.
that Hogwarts Legacy is your story. So what did you choose? What did that individual character choose? If you've got two save files and one chose one way and the other chose the other way, that one's canon to that character. The other way's canon to that other character. Like, it's your story. So we're not going to sit down and say like, oh no, this
is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to say no ending, the good ending, or there's the right ending, or the bad ending.
But
nope.
But how does that play? Because I know you can't talk about it. From all that you know, development wise, is that something they can play with, say, going into the sequel? Because it was left too open-ended with two endings possible, and that canon is up to the character. But narratively, moving forward, is that something a studio or narrative team, story writer Morris Squire, is that something you think they would have planned for, or they're ready for, or they can go forward moving into the sequel? Because I know you can't talk about the sequel, but just from, I'm trying to word it where you might can give it an answer. I don't know if I am or not.
I will refer back to some of my previous answers about in games, anything is possible, and dev teams are thinking oftentimes about a lot more than you think they're thinking about.
Interesting. Okay.
They think and are aware of a lot more than you're thinking about. So from my understanding of game development, anything is possible, and any choice is possible to go one way or the other.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well said. Because I know, like, that's the thing now. And I'm not going to have you like elaborate on it, but that is like the big thing now. Because over here, we are very narrative driven when it comes to like a lot of our theories and thought process when it comes to moving forward. I thought the story wasn't the strong suit of the game, but I thought where they were leading it to, possibly for the sequel, I was very excited. There's a lot of emotional there's a lot of narrative stuff they can explore through emotion with our character, because we're 16-year-old, possibly if they continue with the 5th, 6th, and 7th year, assuming. And I just think you lost your mentor at the end. Spoiler alert for those who haven't played the game. I hope you're not watching this and haven't played the game.
Should have played the game by now.
I know. It's been 3 years. You lost your mentor. We don't know our backstory. And you have this weight of responsibility of being the Keepers 2.0 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what was it? Percival Rackham says, now our legacy is in your hands now. So it's all on us now. Assumingly so if they continue the story. And so I think emotionally you can have some fun narratively moving forward if they decide to continue with that. And so a lot of people were just like, if they do that, what ending or what storyline do you pull from? So like you said, like there's a lot they can do. There's stuff they're thinking about that we haven't thought of, which is exciting for me because I feel like I've thought of everything, but at the same time, I'm only one person and it's a collaborative effort with stuff like this. So I'm excited. But either way, I thought I'd ask that.
Those are a lot of interesting words you just said.
Oh my gosh, I miss you, man. I miss you. Let me see. Okay. All right. This is the stuff I want to get into. And we got a half hour. And I warned you initially. The documentary. Everybody's asking about. We had a lot of people, which I totally forgot about sometimes, but then I used the music in all of my shorts and even some of my videos, which I think I had a comment from one of the guys who were responsible for the music for the trailer, at least. So gorgeous, especially at the end, that trailer. But documentary, what's up with it? Last you heard, what's going on? Is there a reason it was teased and not like it was higher ups? What's going on with the documentary?
I will say I haven't been in the studio for 6 months, so
true.
I don't know a lot of what's going on there.
True.
I've intentionally not, wanted to keep up with things there either because it's fun kind of joining in on.
Oh, getting it from our angle now.
Yeah,
okay.
Getting the exciting side of things there.
Okay.
Yeah, we did announce there was a trailer for that almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, God, yeah, that was around Christmas, I think. Back to Hogwarts Day. I'm sorry.
It was Back to Hogwarts 2023.
Yep.
And nothing else has been said about it since. So, and I'm not at the studio anymore, so I don't know what's going on with it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But I will say, anybody at Avalanche Software watching, you have a lot of people within the community who would love to watch it. So maybe put that in as a double disc with the sequel, maybe, or something. I don't know. If you want to make
my Lord of the Rings comment there, right? Extended edition.
Seriously, yes. That oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So well said. Totally get it. Totally understand. Okay. Backstory for our character. We're getting into lore now. We're getting into some lore. This is my neck of the woods. What was the reasoning behind kind of keeping that vague or honestly non-existent to a degree?
It was really to allow people to completely fill in their own, what we're seeing people do, create their own OCs and original characters.
Yeah.
Because if the character is kind of a blank slate, they can be anyone, and so you if this is your legacy and you're living the unwritten, if there's something that's written, you're not living the unwritten.
Oh,
right. If we're already giving you some kind of foundation for your character's backstory, then it really doesn't get to be your legacy. And I know that answer is not necessarily the answer that everybody wants to hear.
Yeah.
Because I think we've said similar things when I was at the studio in the past.
Yeah, yeah,
And people were like,
yeah.
yeah, but I wanted a little bit more. I don't want just this like empty thing that I have to fill.
Because we
And
were responses we would say we would give to some of the NPCs and stuff like that. I think a lot of people wanted some foundation as to why we might respond that way, but you
yeah,
guys did leave
so
it open-ended like that.
so there's kind of that
Yeah,
question.
that
And
makes sense.
again, it's like it's no answer. That's one of those decisions where no answer or no decision is really the right decision.
Okay.
That and that was again not within my world and determined far before I was even at the studio. But it's like if they had decided to give a backstory to the character or flesh that out a little bit more, there would have been people on the other side saying that same thing of like, oh,
Yeah.
we didn't have. So you just have to weight those things, and then ultimately, like, you have to ship a game,
Yeah,
so a decision
yeah,
has to be
yeah.
made, and you have to put it out into the world, and
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah,
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's it's weird because I feel like I'm a kid learning the real world. You know what I'm saying? From like what you're sharing with the development process. Because as a kid, you're like, oh, I can do this. I'm going to grow up and be a president, or I'm going to grow up and do this and do that. And so as a
yeah.
fan, I'm like, we should have Quidditch and we should have a backstory and all these other things. But like game development is hard at the end of the day. Like there's a lot of moving parts that goes into the decision making, and you have to trust, at least from how I've been interpreting it, my limited time covering games, particularly Wizarding World games. You have to trust the original idea and also be flexible with what you want to do within that original idea, because that original idea was pitched to the publisher, WB, when it comes to the type of game you wanted to make. And they had to give you guys the green light, and Wizarding World had to give you guys the green light, and all these other things. So I hope you guys watching and Replay Squad or whatever are just understanding just how much goes into it. And Chandler speaking from it from a community manager side, and just not even like he didn't develop all the stuff and everything. So
I
like,
wasn't in the code base.
yeah, yeah,
I was in the soup, definitely,
yeah,
but I wasn't like
yeah,
in doing all those things. And
the
so
work,
when
yeah,
somebody who's like working in engine and stuff is telling me something
yeah,
isn't necessarily working, or when the narrative team that understands the web of the entire narrative and the tone of the entire game, or when you've got a game director and the studio head who are like looking at how the game is all coming together.
yeah,
And again, you just have to like put your faith in those people and put your trust in those people that they know what they're talking about.
yeah,
And
yeah.
unfortunately sometimes that does hit some of those things that like maybe you're passionate about,
Right.
that you really feature, or something that you really wanted in the game. And even as people, as developers at the studio, like
Yeah,
that's always a hard thing.
yeah.
But ultimately it makes for the better of the game. And like, again, putting your trust in that studio leadership and the producers and everybody kind of pulling it together and going like, just trust me, like
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
is the best decision.
yeah. And I mean, what leadership? You guys had amazing leadership. The game sold over 40 million copies in like less than
I'm
just under 3 years. Like, come
I'm
on.
still I'm still like the first game I ever shipped, the first game that I was in
God,
the credits of,
seriously,
like I'm like,
seriously.
okay, I have peaked. I feel like one of those guys who's like, the old sports star now who's like, yeah, back in
Back in my
2023, I did Hogwarts Legacy. It was the best-selling game of the year.
You had
Uh,
to be there. You had to be there.
had to
It
be
was
there. It was amazing. Let's let's turn on Overture of the Unwritten. Oh, such a good track.
It is a good track. It is a good track. Oh man. Okay. So I'm trying to think. Deal. Oh, okay. This was reported, and again, I don't know if you can talk about it. DLC. We heard there was nothing official from WB. All this stuff that was coming out was from Jason Schreier. So I just want to let everybody know the stuff I was covering, your fellow Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy content creators, all the stuff we were reporting regarding the DLC was coming from Jason Schreier of Bloomberg. Most of this stuff was coming from them and Tom Henderson. Is there anything you might be able to say, comment on regarding the possible existence of the DLC?
Out of respect for the team in the studio, like I don't
Okay.
want to talk about anything that's speculated there. You know, broadly, again, like conversations always happen. Blue sky kind of conversations happen. There are always things going on at studios, and again, this goes for all games. And when a game comes out, you know, everybody sees like the game on release day, and you know, it's maybe a few years between each game that comes out from any given studio, but there's like always things going on at every studio. And I learned this through games journalism as well.
Interesting.
And as in games journalism, so I'm gonna pull this back to that perspective of games journalism, because I covered back in my day a lot of those same kind of like reports and leaks or things like that. A lot of those come from a place of one, either they're completely fake, and they're coming out of nowhere, and somebody just trying to drum up and get attention for themselves or their news outlet or whatever. Or two, they come through out of context, or again from that place of, you know, you're getting like this tiny like little window into something that happened at maybe a certain point in time, and you know, from the games journalist side, like I get that, because that was our business. Like when I was in that's the business, is like you have to like get that attention, and you have to call attention to those things that may not be something that's like necessarily.
You have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. And that type of job, you have to talk about it.
But yeah, again, just out of respect for the team at Avalanche and WB Games and everything, I will decline to comment on any rumors, speculation, leaks, or anything like that.
So it would be safe to assume that would apply to obviously Hogwarts Legacy 2 and any speculation or rumors or quote unquote leaks, which I don't think are leaks, regarding the sequel and trailers and all this other stuff. I would assume that would be your response as well, because I just want to make sure the community knows,
especially in that, especially in like what's coming next from the studio.
You're not there.
I'm not there. I haven't been there in 6 months. It is, even if I were to say anything about anything, it is insane how much can change over the course of 6 months. And you know, I know, having been there, I know how exciting it is to be able to bring these things
to life,
to the community in their own time and in their own way. And I would not want to do anything to jeopardize that for the team.
Well said.
So I really want to respect the team and whatever they're planning. And again, like I'm super excited. I'm off with whatever, because I get to see it from the community perspective, and I get to be the one who gets to be surprised when something gets announced about anything. And
one of us.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in it. So that's really exciting for me. And I'm thrilled for whatever and whenever they're gonna talk about what they've been working on.
Yeah. That's the and for those of you guys, again, first time here, that's what I'm here for. We're going to speculate and theorize every Wednesday live. So make sure you subscribe to all of the other stuff. So, okay, cool. All right. a topic that is near and dear to my heart. We got about like 15, 20 minutes. Merlin. I think you had coined me the Merlin conspiracy theorist during the gameplay showcase, the first one. And I have a bone to pick with narrative team or whoever. So first, Merlin. I know this. I'm assuming because a lot of the decisions were made even before you had got there, and you had a lot of hands-on with the marketing and the voicing and stuff like that. But obviously, they were already well on their way before you had arrived there in December of 2021. But Merlin, the nod, you have a character, I forgot her name, who's studying Merlin. What's the deal with Merlin? Like, why was he only relegated to just the puzzles? Were there characters you guys just weren't allowed to just play with? Like, Merlin is a big deal. Merlin's beard is a saying. Merlin is one of the OGs. He's a Slytherin like you are. What was the deal?
For my own heart.
What's the deal with Merlin?
I'll preface this by saying I honestly don't know.
Okay.
This was not something I necessarily like dug into really heavily when I was talking with like as far as the game was along, as much work as we were doing on everything, that wasn't necessarily a question that I was asking of like, why didn't Merlin come into play in different ways? So this is purely fan Chandler speculation. To be clear, to put that caveat on this.
Okay.
If I had to speculate on that, the focus of this game really was again on your story. And was really again on you living the unwritten and your Hogwarts legacy and you attending Hogwarts. Like, we really wanted to bring attention to your character. And so the game has a lot of nods to famous wizarding families, for example, or things like the Weasleys, for example, are in there, and the Gaunts with Ominous, and but it's not bogged down by, like, let's call it celebrity cameos, right? Of these like Wizarding World cameos where you're doing the Leo DiCaprio finger pointing meme, like, oh, and again, pure speculation from my part. I honestly don't know this or not, but from my perspective, like, bringing a character like Merlin more into things might have felt a little too like this is too much of like this flagship, like, known character cameo that almost pulls attention away from you and your story and what you're doing. And so I don't know if that's the right answer or not. But were I to dissect things and dissect why some of the other narrative choices were made, specifically around the backstory again, and
that's a good answer. No, that makes sense. That makes sense, because like you said, like, the pillar of the game is this is your story. Like, at the end of the day, all the mechanics, all the features, narrative stuff, everything is surrounded, or the center, the black hole of the galaxy is you kind of experiencing this for the first time, and you kind of telling your own story, living the unwritten. So
Merlin would given any more weight, in my opinion, like in that story, outside of like being this kind of like legacy thing, and just kind of like, oh, there's something interesting going on, like he's left his mark around the world, and he's there, but he's not like there. Would have felt a little bit too much like a MacGuffin, maybe, where it's just like, oh, well, now it's not your character, now it's Merlin, and this is the Merlin show, and your character is like just the camera for the Merlin show.
That's I mean, that's fair. That's a good answer, I guess. Yeah.
Honestly,
this is not official.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is not official. This is just based off of your speculation and dissecting of things. I understand. No, it like Percival Rackham literally could have been swapped with Merlin. Like literally. Both were seers, both had an understanding of ancient magic. I think Percival was the only 5th year out of that group. And then I think it was Isadora, and then our character, whatever. So like he could have easily switched. Obviously, Merlin's like 400 or 500 years before Rackham. Like he was around during.
It changes the whole story. There's a lot of stuff that like it, and it is hard again. Like how do you bring past characters in a meaningful and important like way? How do you get that balance exactly right where you're just like nodding to them versus pulling them in? I think I don't know.
No, that's a good call. Like, because like I don't know like aspects of the game in regards to what you know or what you were involved with or what you were privy to, especially narrative, especially lore wise. Because I think because I still the person I need to sit down with outside of Todd and Dallin. Dallin did such a great job with the character creator. Oh my, well, I know it wasn't just him, but like my gosh, like so I need to talk to them. But Morris Squire, because there's so many nods that it doesn't feel like a coincidence. And I might have even like sent you a DM like a while ago. You were like, I don't know, because it was regards to Isadora and Echrisdis. If you guys don't know, Echrisdis was supposedly, according to legend, the creator of the Mentors who ran the tower or the castle that is now known as Azkaban, and both were kind of prevalent around the same time. Isadora, Morganach, and Echrisdis, and it's just funny. There's a line where Isadora, when she comes back and she shows what she can do in regards to pulling negative emotions out of people using ancient magic, she said she had learned something on her travels. And so obviously, me being me, I listen to that. I was like, wait, what time period is this? I was like, that's literally the same kind of feature the Mentor has, but they take away positive nature. So it was a nice kind of like coincidence where she went on her travels. She can pull negative energy emotions out. The Mentors could pull positive emotions out. Is there some kind of connection there? And I just, that's the big question for me, obviously outside of like our background and all those things. I'm like, if I ever have the privilege or the chance to sit down with Morris Squire, that's one of the first questions. And I know the community's like, why are you asking that? Nobody cares about that. I was like, I do, so I don't care.
No, it's great. It's the deep dive sort of stuff. And I will say, you know, when we're talking about who's the biggest Potterhead and biggest nerd, like Moira Squire knows a lot about, and when it comes to the Wizarding World lore and history and story and
she has to. And I think like, because wasn't she part of like the movies or the films? I think to a degree. I couldn't remember.
Wrote for some like old games, some of the old Harry Potter games. She's been like part of the Harry Potter. Yeah, she's been in it for many
long
years.
time. Okay. Because I was like, I know she was involved with like some other stuff. So okay, all right, we're gonna take some community questions right quick. We got 10 minutes before we have to get out of here. And again, thank you, Chandler, for just hanging out, talking with us, even dealing with the tougher questions per se.
I think I took them okay. I think
I think you did. Like, I was just like,
I
dang
took
it,
my
that's a good
punches.
response. I was like, that's a good response. Dang it. I was like, he still knows what he's doing. Dang it. I was like, I was hoping some rust might have kicked in or something to get some of the
No,
answers.
no,
Uh,
almost even more so. I feel like I almost even more so need to be
yeah,
want to be careful now because again, it's not my baby anymore,
yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah,
and I don't want to like disrespect the team. I don't want to take anything away from them.
yeah,
I'm so proud of that team and so happy with their passion and the things like that they're doing, and I just want them to have all of that. Like it's not mine to
yeah.
give anymore.
No, I get it. I get it. I think I covered everything. Oh, a good one from A Ramos. What did you miss? What do you miss now about the job? Pertaining to community managing. I think you might have touched on that, but real quick, what did you miss?
Yeah, I mean, honestly just like being in a studio and around like so many people who are so passionate and are so just doing amazing things every single day. And then on the other side of that, like a community who is equally as passionate and
Yeah,
excited for what the studio is doing, and being able to like bridge that. And again, that like chaos of every day, like it's insane and it is chaos and it is overwhelming at times, but it's like it's the type of stuff that I would say you wouldn't trade for anything, but clearly I did.
you're. Oh yeah, for sure.
There's
Love the
one
more.
thing you would trade it for.
Yeah, love. Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, it's just amazing.
Um, Gosh, I'm looking at all these questions. There's a lot of Hogwarts Legacy 2 questions. Let me see. This one. What was your favorite way of interacting with the community? What was a fun way you enjoyed interacting? Whether it's just plainly answering questions or those freaking little hints you would freaking leave before stuff.
Oh, those were always fun. Those were always great. I loved those. Um, but honestly, my favorite way of interacting with the community was through the community. So it was in things like being able to bring you on, being able to bring Lynette on,
Yeah, yeah,
Ben Snow,
yeah,
uh, and then when we were able to let you guys all get hands on, when we did that
yeah,
world tour and everything, like
yeah.
uh, being able to interact with the community through the community, because it was like you guys are
Mm,
already our champions and our advocates and you have your own communities, and there was like I didn't want to come in and disrupt that. I wasn't coming in to like create my community. I was coming in
right.
because there was this community that was already there, and not even just one community, but like it is
Yeah,
one community, but it's also like all these
yeah,
little like pockets of communities with some
yeah.
overlap everywhere. And
Branches and stuff over here.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So being able to do that and being able to like reach out to your community through you by being able to have been able to invite you into the studio,
yeah.
because we can't bring your whole community in. We can't bring
Obvious.
hundreds of
Yeah,
thousands of, thousands of
yeah,
people into the studio or anything, but
yeah.
we can make like little efforts to do that by inviting you in, and in a way letting your whole community in through the doors in that way. And that was just like so special to me to be able to do that.
That I mean, and like the people you brought in, like me, Lynette, Ben, and like if even the people you guys invited to London, LA, everywhere you guys went, like they just weren't big channels. Like you had those and you had journalists because obviously you want more eyes on the product. But I was so surprised by just like again, you guys paying attention, having your ear to the ground, pulling a small channel like me, like Ben, like Lynette, like so many of the cats you guys invited. I can go down the line of the creators I was able to meet, have met through this game. And I'm just like, man, like these guys just understand the community and know what's going on. Like popping in on a Wizarding Wednesday when I wasn't expecting it because for
That was
whatever
so much
reason,
fun.
it was on radar. And I was just, bro, I was sweating bullets every time you guys would pop in, especially when I knew about the gameplay showcase, because I told the community afterwards, I was just like, there was stuff I couldn't talk about because I knew how the combat looked a little bit, because you guys had kind of give me a preview through Zoom a couple of times before I ended up in Salt Lake City. And I was like, I couldn't, when we do the group live streams, if anybody talked about Exploration of the Castle, character creator, combat, I couldn't say anything. Like, I couldn't say anything. So, like, I was really sweating bullets after I knew what was going on from just my little understanding from our Zoom sessions. And I would see you guys pop in. I was like, Sue was like, they're checking in on you. But I was like, nah, they just want to hang out. They just like,
really, we were not trying to be the police of like, oh, are they gonna say is anybody gonna say anything? Like,
yeah.
But you get just like a small window there into what it's like to be a game developer too. And when somebody knows you're working on something and you're just like, I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. And it's hard because it's like you want to talk about it too, and it's all of these like really exciting things, and you want to just like tell the community about it. And like I said, like in some ways it's even easier for me now because it's I'm not there and I'm not part of it, and it's not my place to tell you about you know, anything that I may or may not know about. But when I was at the studio, like that was going to be my job, and I was like, I do want to tell you. I want to tell you all everything. I want to like, and so it's so hard, but
oh man. All right, couple more. As a studio, and maybe personally for you, was the greatest achievement Hogwarts Legacy reached as a media product? You could say the 40 million copies sold, but for you guys as a studio, like, what do you think was a like we hit it, we did it, like, especially afterwards?
Hard to say as a studio, and I don't want to speak again, not being there. I don't want to speak on behalf of the studio or anything.
That's fair.
So for me, you know, numbers are a big thing. Obviously, you can look at like, oh, it's made however many one point whatever $2 billion, whatever it is now, and you know, I don't know. I'm not even following the numbers anymore. 40 million copies sold, and likely more than that by this point. Like, but for me, I think what I look at is the biggest kind of success thing is how many people are still playing it.
Oh my gosh!
Is the ongoing, you know, concurrent daily active users, monthly active users, whatever, and it's just incredible that there's this single player game. Very few single player games achieve the honor of getting to like pull players through and having them continue to play for years after launch. You know, you've got like Skyrim, Witcher, the GTAs, and Red Dead. Like we're Hogwarts Legacy is in an upper echelon and a top tier of like passionate players who continue to play that game to this day, more than 3 years later.
That's insane.
That's just incredible to me. And I so to me personally, I think that's like the big success metric. That's like, this is so cool. That's so amazing.
No, that's well said. That's well said. I think I had made a video not too long ago, or even a post, and it was still like in the top 10 in sales, like somewhere in Germany or something. And I was just like, 3 years ago, like, what in the ham sandwich is going on? Like, this is crazy. But like, I mean, it was even like a metric PlayStation had put out, like the top most played single player game for the PS5 generation up to that point. What I think Hogwarts Legacy was 3 behind Valhalla and God of War, which is
is a great again, among the pantheon of games to be a part of. Like, wow, I'll take it.
Facts. And like you said, you were a part of that. We all were a part of that success, and just man, like, now that you're on this side of it and everything, it's going to be so much fun kind of maybe just like sharing those experiences now as a fan of the developers and as a fan of the IP, and just coming together, and eventually whenever we get it, a trailer or the game release or whatever, kind of going through this process again, just from a different side of it. And I just
maybe
gotta
I'll come
say,
back. We'll do a reaction.
yes,
Or
yes,
something like
open
that. I don't know.
invite.
Yeah.
Open invite. You let me know. I know you got stuff going on and everything. You got the wife and everything, but you let me know. I will hold off for a week if you want to do a reaction together. Because, like,
Oh, I won't make you hold off. But,
yeah,
but yeah.
we'll do something. We'll
You
figure
can't do
out
that.
something.
You can't do that. But
They will understand. But no, I get you. But I gotta say, just like personally, for me, and being able to interact with you those past couple of years, and still now, with like sending me the farewell letter, and kind of like allowing me to kind of echo your sentiments to the community and stuff like that, kind of trusting me for whatever reason, like, it's been humbling. It's been kind of just like, I feel like I've made a friend. I feel like I've met somebody who's just like passionate, not so much just about the community and the IP and game development, but passionate about people, wanting to see people enjoy something in this day and age, which is sometimes hard to do, and kind of giving them that outlet to do that through Hogwarts Legacy. You kind of did that for us. Obviously, you helped our channel kind of grow in a way that we didn't expect, especially coming off of a mobile game. But I mean, just speaking personally for me, continued success for you and the wifey and the doggo, and everything you will be in, kind of just getting into these next couple of years and stuff. And welcome to this side of the fandom, honestly. And I just want to say thank you for all the stuff you've done for myself and this community. And you will be surely missed. We looking forward to Cody, but you are missed. You are missed. And
I'm missed, but I'm also still around.
You're still around. You're still
here.
You're still here. Yeah, you're still here. For sure.
I'll be around, and the further away I get from that, the more I can really be even a part of all this.
Yeah.
Too. So,
all the shenanigans. Get ready. Speculation galore. But that being said, we're going to let Chandler get out of here. We are at our 2-hour mark. Thank you so much again, Chandler, for being here. Thank you to chat for keeping it civilized and not bombarding him with too many Hogwarts Legacy 2 questions.
You did good. You did good. I
good.
would be concerned if they weren't asking those questions, honestly. So it's fair.
Exactly. I tried to prep a little bit, so hopefully that worked out. But shout out to the mods holding it down in the chat as well. Shout out to Martin for the 50 gifted subs. Thanks for everybody who decided to sub, follow. We were co-streaming on Twitch and YouTube, so appreciate you guys just for taking time out your day for 2 hours to talk more of this game we all love and enjoy, and look forward to continue doing this. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. Love you guys. We will see you in the next one. Peace.